too bad. I don't care. I'm not repeating myself. Okay, well, somebody can repeat it for her. I gotta start class, right? Like, guys, going to the bathroom is better done at AO or foundations versus once we get back into academic classes and teachers got to do stuff.
Or extensions.
Did you turn that lamp off on purpose, or is the power strip out?
I unplugged it from my computer. Is that okay? I'll put that.
I'm just giving you. I got another power strip, man. So plug that power strip back in. All right. So the longest power strip in the world. Whoa.
And it's a long one.
You know how to do a power strip. All right. Look at the board. Look at the board. Okay. So by the way, because this pops up and it makes it look like I'm watching cartoons, this was a very interesting video about these things called Euler Squares, where it's like a riddle, essentially. If you do not watch Number File or you've never heard of it, it's a sweet YouTube channel for those of us that are nerds. So file means like you love it, right? Like a bibliophile, right, is somebody who loves books. An audiophile is someone who loves music. Yes, you're in middle school. You're in middle school, so of course you're doing everything you can to yell out the word pedophile. Yeah. So, yeah, and I don't care. I'm going to move on. So, the rest of Chapter 5 work was suggested to be turned in yesterday. It is due today for the competition. If you want to know how that relates to Math 7, I just haven't changed their colors. Or yes, I have. It's just somewhere else. Boom. So here's their opening slide for today. So they have 2 homeworks to do as well. So you guys really owe me like 524 and 5 closure, I believe, are the 2 that most of us haven't turned in. If you are curious, if you've turned something in or not, once we start the Desmos, you can come check in with me. All of us at this point, I think, have turned in 522. So it's mainly 523, 524, and the closure. So that stuff is all due today. So tomorrow, 611 and 612, they could be done. They probably should be done. But if they're not, it's okay because they're really due on Thursday. Does that make sense? We're going back to giving an extra day of buffer for people to ask questions and get stuff done. Like, guys, I know it's crazy, but Phoenix teachers listen to your feedback. And when you guys say, hey, these expectations are a little too much, we listen to that. So then on Friday, there's no official homework collection, but if you want to go ahead and turn in other work, you can. We're probably going to take a mini mastery because that is the end of section 6.1. Today, we are going into Desmos, and you are looking for transformation golf. Where did my Desmos go? It is already alive. You should already see it. It is called Transformation Golf Reflection, because this is what we did not get to talk about yesterday too much, but on our notes we should have written down what 3 rigid transformations did we talk about yesterday. Patrick, give me 1. Reflection. Nevin, give me another.
Translation.
What? Translation. And Aiden, give me another. Rotation. So rotation, reflection, translation. Those should all be in our notes. If you were not here yesterday for some reason, please come let me know, because you probably need a set of notes. But what we said about a rigid transformation is it preserves shape, preserves size, does not preserve location. Translation, rotation, reflection are our 3 things. This is now working about reflections. Now, here's the weird thing. Actually, never mind. I'll let you figure it out through the activity.
Are we gonna do homework questions and check?
Oh, we should probably do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull out 611 in case there's homework questions. Guys, make sure that you read directions. And I'm gonna pause this for a second.
No!
You can't be that surprised.
I can't actually, but...
reflection.
Here we are.
Why do you spend so much long sentence quotes? Or whatever you call it.
Hey, 6-2. It's going to be super duper obvious if you just copy this down. There's a bunch of different ways that you could get the original shape to turn into the new shape. Because guys, like if we think this through, I could spin it, then flip it, then flip it, then flip it, then flip it, then like I can do a bunch of different stuff. There's not one right answer. You could also flip it across here, flip it across here, but we didn't practice reflections yesterday, at least I don't think, so we might not be that good with reflections. But the thing to pay attention to is if I rotate this 180 degrees, if I rotated this 180 degrees, it would be pointed the wrong way.
And then you have to flip it.
So if you said rotate 180 degrees, you still then would need to flip it.
I just said the coordinates have changed it.
You can't just change coordinates because then like if you just tell it to translate, it's pointed the wrong way. Because if we just translate this up, it'd be pointing down and to the right.
I was saying like the coordinates have changed to like -5, -3 to.
So I might save some time by saying, did you read the directions that say describe what moves you could use to create the transformation of the original?
I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not. Questions, Brenda?
Would rotation 90 degrees then translation to quadrant one work?
Yep, but if we're rotating, we gotta tell where we're centered, like where our center of rotation is. So if you assume,
The top right
guys,
corner.
let's talk about the hockey stick method. And y'all are, yeah, exactly. So when we talk about rotation, one of the easiest ways to remember it, not easy, but easier, and I stole this from Mr. Hall. So props to Mr. Hall, I stole this idea from him when I started teaching. I heard him teaching about this and I was like, hot diggity, that makes sense. Things that make sense. So imagine a hockey stick, right? So like any L, okay. If I was drawing a hockey stick, it probably look more like, I don't know, rounded, looks like a leg. So then we'd have, just chop that off, slap shot in the V, and maybe wrap it with some tape.
That's the worst.
Okay,
I didn't see it.
so people say middle schoolers are nice. If I grab this hockey stick and rotate it on one of the points, that's like kind of easier, right? And if I keep doing this, I'm going to get dangerously close to making the swastika or the Nazi star, which happens every time I teach the hockey stick method. So yes, I know. But here's the thing. When you rotate from the center, this to this rotates 90 degrees, and then our hockey stick would come, what was 2-1, 2-1, that in itself rotates. So to get to that point, if I draw a hockey stick, quote unquote, and I rotate the hockey stick 2-1, the new tip of my triangle is here. And then this leg of 3 is here. The leg of 2 is there. And my triangle would be facing that direction now.
Hot dog.
And that's not right because this is my 3, not my 2. So if you rotate 90 like this, it's not facing the right direction.
What if you rotate 90 that way?
Well, let's play with that. Rotate your hockey stick
I'll rotate.
up this way. Right? So 2-1, 2-1. Yes, I know, we already said it.
And what happens
And
if
then
you
rotate
it
the hockey stick. Now it's pointed that way.
What happens if you do it one
Wait,
more
so
time, though?
rotation 90 degrees and translate to
You're gonna have to involve a reflection. That's the trick to this question.
Is it? Wait.
You're gonna need to involve a reflection.
Is it reflection up? How would we add a reflection?
So if I rotate another 90 from here,
Oh, yeah. That wasn't.
2-1, Guys, if you're laughing, you obviously need to learn more about the Holocaust.
I do, but
The
Can I see? I can't, literally can't see.
three leg is here, which looks right, but it's pointed that way.
And then you have to flip it. So
It looks right,
So
but it's
now
left.
we need to reflect it.
and not translation.
Not, we don't really need to translate,
Right.
but here's the trick. The reflection would be across the middle of it, right? If it's sitting on top of where I want it to sit, the reflection would have to reflect it on top of itself.
So
You do not have to be mastered at this yet. This question was meant to make your brain turn and think and like, oh crap, that's wrong, oh crap, that's wrong. Like, this was meant to guide you to wanting other rigid transformations.
I have a question. How do you do this one?
oh no.
Real quick, I have a question. So if you look like this, stay here, and then move over there.
Yeah, that would, 3 on bottom. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm going to talk about this for like 10 seconds more, then we're moving on. So Gus just asked if, I don't know why like 5 people are talking at the same time as me. You got all day to talk. I only have 45 minutes with you guys. Gus said, what if I reflect across here, right? I use the x-axis like my mirror. Well, now my triangle would be facing that way, and now I could just translate it. So if you reflect it across the x-axis, but guys, what we're practicing today and what I'm about to unpause for you is how do reflections actually work. So let's practice some of that first, and we'll come back to checking homework here in a bit. So go ahead, dive into Desmos if you're not in yet. We do not all need to narrate our own activities because we're all doing the same activity. The 5 of you that have moved on to slide 3, you all got slide 2 wrong.
oh wait, how are you supposed to get it right?
Did you go back and fix it?
Wait, what are you supposed to do?
It's a sandbox.
Wait, maybe I'm thinking of the next activity.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you got to explore.
Where's the explore? You can do wherever you want.
yeah, you're right. I don't know why it shows an X instead of a check. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. I'll anonymize it first. Look, so here's my view, right, to keep track of you guys, but I can see that some people skipped it and did not even play with the sandbox. Guys, the point of the sandbox is so that we get comfortable with how things look in Desmos. If I tell it to translate like this, it translates the shape, but this is what I was talking about yesterday, where it looks like the grid moves. So then if I hit play all, I start back over. And what I don't love is that the shape and...
Excuse this interruption, Phoenix. I need to have Adam Miller to the office. Adam, to the office, please. Thank you.
the shape and the grid move. I don't love that. I wish just the shape moved. Because on our graph paper, like our graph paper stays where it is. We draw a new shape, right? So I don't love that, but go ahead and play with it. Slide 3 does have a right versus wrong.
I figured it out, but it's confusing.
Oh my, that hurt my
So
brain.
guys, you can drag points around. All of this stuff is draggable. When you hit reflect, guys, you are dropping the mirror where it goes. So guys, check it. Here's an example. If I put this just one away from my original shape, it's going to reflect to one away from that reflection line. So if I want it to go further, I edit my reflection and I make my reflection further away. And now it's gonna go further away. Because it's a mirror. It goes as far as it starts. So now if I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away, now I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away.
So how do you beat it?
You get it onto the other. You want to put the ball in the hole. We're doing mini golf, right? So your purple shape needs to go onto the empty shape.
But what about slide number 2?
This was just to get used to the like buttons and what they do. This is just play with it. So I do not know why it's putting X's instead of check marks. I think that's a coding error from them. This should be showing check marks that you did it, that you played with it. Etta Zuber Falcon, I think you skipped slide 2.
I did?
I wonder who that is. But you already got slide 3 correct, which is what's funny. You skipped slide 2, but you got slide 3 correct.
Bro,
I just didn't know what to do.
I can do.
I'm a genius.
I can do slide 3 in 3 moves.
It might be Desmos, I don't know.
I did slide 4 and 3.
You're fine, because you got slide 3 right. You're fine. Did I just hear I'm so good at this? We're getting to that point. We're getting to that point in the school year where we're starting to flex about math.
Oh, wait.
Can you punish him?
You can reflect through the middle of the shape.
4 in 2 moves.
What?
I did slide 4 and 3.
I did it in 2.
I probably could have done it in 2.
You have to translate this.
I will share people's solutions, but not right now because people are still trying to figure out their solutions, and I do not want people to copy you.
Wait, for which one?
What's up, Max?
Okay, so like for like 6.
Slide 6?
Yeah, slide 6.
Okay. Did describe your strategy one?
Yeah, but like, what do you even like? Is it like which one's the pre-image and which one's the image? And also, are you talking about like getting the pre-image to the image or the image to the pre-image?
So, wonderful question.
I have no idea.
Time for everyone to pause.
Did you guys do that?
Grab your graph paper from yesterday.
No.
He never used it.
Get a sheet of graph paper then.
Oh.
Well, if you didn't use it, you still have a sheet from yesterday.
It's true. I just don't want to do that.
Body parts.
Y'all gonna be like keep. What? What?
You want to share that, okay?
Jake, you know I'm recording, right?
Yeah. I just went right away because I didn't realize what you were talking about.
This is one of the times I think math is stupid.
I think math is stupid sometimes.
Finally, you're embracing it with us.
You don't even know the half of it. Yesterday in my high school math 2 class, we watched a video about things that are provably unprovable.
Can we do that?
There are mathematical problems that are provably improvable. So we can prove that they can't be proved. Yeah, like, wait, what?
I'm trying not to be confused.
Transformations. Our start is actually our pre-image. And I think this is stupid because pre means before, and if I'm starting on something, I have it, right? It's in front of me, I got it. I disagree with this, but I can't change math, right? Like, all because I disagree with this does not mean I can do anything about it. So then we rotate, or we reflect, or we translate, right? Whatever we do, we then get to our end, which we just call the image. So the pre-image goes to the image. The image is where you end. Yes.
I mean, I know that, but which one's the pre-image and which one's the image on this? And is it?
So I know what you were asking. I just realized we hadn't written this down yet. So I appreciate that you asked that question so we could define the vocab. So I got you. We're going back there. We're going back there.
I know where to go.
So then on this activity, they are starting you with the purple shape that is filled in, and you are trying to get to the shape that is empty.
Wait, really?
I believe.
Doing it the opposite.
One.
Wait, was I? Yeah, I was doing it the opposite.
I mean, over here, I'm trying to get purple to the empty,
Yeah, I was trying to get the empty
right?
purple. That's what it looked like.
So if I translate and I place my vector
That's
here,
what I did. And then I got 2 moves.
and then what could I do now? And then reflect.
That's how
It looked like, for a minute, it looked like the light was moving.
Heyo.
Can I see the note thing
Oh,
again?
I didn't realize you were still paused.
Can I see the note thing again real quick?
Yeah,
I didn't
absolutely.
finish writing it.
Absolutely.
Wait, you can move that.
You can what?
You can move the light.
What? Did not know that.
Well, it depends on what slide you're on.
Hey,
Uh,
you're wrong.
What slide are you on, Patrick? Oh, yeah.
And then another word that we talked about yesterday that you pretty much already have written down, but if you want to make your notes even better,
Hey, I can do 4 and 1.
For 6. You said that.
rigid means size is preserved.
In the right way.
Anna, I have an opportunity for you if you want to. Talk to me later.
Don't take it. Sounds suspicious.
Are you in his war period?
It's about drawing nice straight lines and pretty boxes.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Take it.
I thought it was.
I can do that. I have a ruler.
It's like a reward for Anna.
That would be a reward for Anna.
I also have mathematical coloring books, by the way, where it's like super cool math things that you can just color in. Like,
Like optical illusions.
guys, I end up teaching a math art class normally at least once a year.
Can I take one of those math art books?
So things like this.
Did you make that?
No, this is all.
In our old
So
Thank you.
then there's graph theory things where like how many lines can we connect to each other and what would it make. These aren't as cool. I'll show you this one.
Hey, can I get one of those?
This is. Anyone know?
It's a
2, 4, 6, 8.
I know what it is.
Where do we appreciate?
Pascal's trying.
Yeah, Pascal's triangle. Boop, Pascal's triangle.
Can I get one of those?
Not right now because I'd have to go make copies.
Oh, okay.
Give me one of those.
This is. Notice how this is marked originals. I'm not allowed to give these away.
Alright, well, can I get a copy?
At some point, I'm very busy right now though.
Give it away. Will you get in trouble with Miss?
No, I need to make copies. I don't care about copyright. I'm a teacher. You think they're gonna take me to jail?
Yeah.
Nah, okay, you're probably right.
They are vicious.
You never know.
I mean, I'm recording. I care a lot about copyright. I would never infringe on copyright. Never, ever, ever would I infringe on copyright. A few of you have slide 5 incorrect. About half of us.
I keep
Something correct. Can you? Oh, can you anonymize it so we can all see what we got wrong?
Yes, because it doesn't tell us anything.
All right. If you look for who you are for slide 5, like Gloria, you're incorrect. Mary, you're incorrect.
Let's go.
Jamie, you're incorrect. Trichetti, you're incorrect. Alexander.
What our name is.
It's in the top.
Look at the top of your screen.
Can you look for how I'm not doing that?
So this is the question, right? This is the question. Which reflection will transform the pre-image? Hey, stop talking. Because if you're talking and you know what you're doing, that's just rude. If you're talking and you don't know what you're doing, that's just silly. What reflection will get the pre-image to the image? We need to be equidistant away from the reflection line. So A will not work because when we reflect, we end up equidistant from the reflection line. So B would work because they're both right up against the reflection line. C works. No, it doesn't. Because that's 1.5 versus 1. D is the trickiest. If you look at D, if we like zoom in on D and draw the line from the point to the line of reflection, it's like 1.5 boxes diagonally, right? So it'll go the same on the opposite way. Ooh, lands on the point. We can't see it, but the corner of the dotted rectangle, or the dotted L, would be right over here. I feel like we're playing a giant game of Tetris, guys. Except in Tetris, you can't reflect the shape. Because that would be like unfair because the like S blocks, if you reflect it, it's a different object. Right? You can't reflect in Tetris, right? You can just rotate. And then, if you are thinking that you're all that and you got this down pat and you're just, too cool for school, I'm about to assign the next Desmos activity. All right, here's the deal, because I'm probably just going to let you work for the rest of the class because I got to hand back a million papers. The next mini golf activity is about rotation. Yo, here, just look up here. The next mini golf one is all about rotation, and the next one puts it all together. This one is challenging. Do not go do that one until you've tried the rotation one, because you need to practice with rotations. So I'm going to assign you guys rotations, and then I'm going to assign you guys all of the rigid motion golf. This one's tricky. I'm telling you. All right, I got to pass back like a bajillion papers.
What? Oh, you can't do that? Yeah, you can't go through it or break it.
Yeah, it's a solid. You're at a mini golf course. You can't go straight through the solid objects.
I forgot. Hey, man, give us
Are you the kid who goes to mini golf and is like, I'm gonna go up and over?
Yes, I'm definitely one of those kids, and I always get a hole in one too.
Dude, my sister at one point just like smacked the ball and it hit the rock right before the water, launched over the water, and like landed 2 inches from the cup. And like almost hit my dad in the process, but it was pretty fun. The cup is the hole. It's just a nickname for the hole. It's the golf.
This is annoying because the thing moves with me. Wait a second. Go! I have a big brain move. Are you good? Hopefully. Yeah. You good? You're not good. What? Or are you thinking it was good?
But I see you looking at it.
That makes more sense.
Scaled by 2 years. And just by one.
I got challenged by
also
a
fix our y intercept for us. It'll fix
You
both
can't
things.
move. Well, you can't move. Bro, I just
You're a master. I just wanted to talk with you about that.
Page 7.
Oh, I almost broke it.
No.
You almost broke it.
See, you guys are starting to like get the whole Phoenix way of like, I can give you a mastery, but still but then still want to talk to you.
Wait, it ran away. I don't understand the arrows. No.
Hey, hey, keep working on the activity. As soon as I get done passing back papers, I'll come back here and talk to you. Okay, keep working on this.
The arrow does not make sense.
Well, you gotta attach it.
Okay,
to
that
the
changed my idea. It ran away.
It will move it that many units.
Okay, yeah. I would never do it. Yeah, but
Wait, hey, look,
Connor, which page are you on?
yeah, I know, but say some other times it doesn't work.
you probably drug it too far and it was like off the screen.
Yeah, I'm only on page 11. I'm confused.
It's confusing. No.
This is like the same old math class that you guys hated, right? This is so terrible. It's the worst thing ever. Doing math.
Mommy, yeah. What do you want? I don't understand. Bro, you're gonna break it.
Max is allowed to hate math. He just has to have a good attitude.
Yo, I got two. Look. How many did you do? I'm on
You just translated? You could have flipped it.
How? Really? What?
I did.
motion mini golf. But you
What?
have rotation to do next, and then rigid motion. Well, I mean, you could jump right into rigid motion, or it'll be a bit more difficult.
This is
Yeah,
challenge.
the-
I like challenge.
That's what I said. Because if you do the same thing twice, like it doesn't get you.
That's a reflection line, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Messing around, seeing what works.
Now, if you go left, then you go left.
I
You
didn't
don't go back
dunk,
to
and
where
I
you started.
did
If you go
something
left,
that I
you go
should
left.
I should go a long time ago. Hey.
We already talked about that poster.
What did I? So got that. I can't talk. I cannot talk.
Someone said
I know, right?
my name is now.
Wait, who are you? I'm Ben.
I'm Rodney Bryce.
Up is not
I'm
no.
Braga Gupta. What?
I think you're probably Brahma Gupta,
Yeah.
if I'm thinking of the right
You
mathematician.
can't translate it.
I'm Ben. Not to be confused with Wang Chung.
Hey, I like not talking about anyone specifically, but when we do Desmos and when we anonymize, if you are like bringing up your person's name because you think it's funny, it shows how American you are and the fact that we're used to like Joe and John and Jane. Other cultures have much more complicated names than we have, and they all speak better than we do as well. We are like the idiots of the world, and I want us to remember that.
One time I described America as the moody teenager of the countries, and my 6th grade social studies teacher really liked it.
I don't even know if we made it to teenage years. I think we're like prepubescent, just hit puberty, and we're like yelling at mom even though she's just trying to give us dinner. And, like, we're like
Give me better dinner.
we're like flushing our
Oh,
homework.
no, I'm
down the
better.
toilet.
We're
We're like, look at this fresh food and fresh fruit that I have. All I want is a candy bar.
Just now
Like,
discovering and playing with government.
And getting other government business.
Oh, I see. It is. I just got it.
This is like a total question.
all right, if you are still on mini golf reflections, it's time to move on and go to mini golf rotation. You can go back, like I'm gonna unpause it. You can come back to this activity whenever you want, but I need us to all go practice some rotations. So go back to your home page, go to rotations. Give me a second. I'm like 10 papers away from being done. And your guys' class, I forget more often than any other class to pass out papers. Well, because most of you do your homework.
Wait, what's one?
So it's not as big of a deal.
Oh, we're rotation.
You know what I mean?
Sure did. Yeah. Like that's good though.
Absolutely. Sorry guys, I know I'm putting like piles of papers in front of you. Remember, you do have your hanging folder that after we take the mastery, we can file stuff away. What, how many papers you're getting back?
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, I mean, they're really
Trust me, I had to grade all of them. I know. All right, first person I committed to was Max, and then I will come see you.
Oh, I saw it. It ran
All right. Slightly askew. All right. So
Alright,
this
I did
scale
count.
goes by twos, right? So if we go from
Oh,
8,
crap.
-8, right, up to +2. How far is it from -8 to +2?
I didn't even bruh. Bro, what?
Oh, oh,
Negative
crap.
8. Back up to 0. That's 8, right? From 8 to 0. Then we go 2 more.
I
And
know.
then we go over 2.
Rock hard.
X went over 2. What's 10 divided by 2?
Oh my gosh.
Rock hard.
But like, some of the
Yo,
my
yo, I think I did it.
was -3.
Oh, that's quite strong.
Oh.
Wait, which one are you on?
Oh, maybe you just did it on the paper. Yeah. So our slope is 5.
Oh, right.
Right.
You do dance.
Now let's define our y-intercept. -3 is correct. Because from -8, if we go up 5 and over 1, we're at -3.
Are you
But that's not the right
using
slope.
the major ones, or are you just
So it's -3 plus 5x. But I went ahead and already gave you mastery. You're good, because I knew we would talk about it. Gus.
Success.
okay?
Success accomplished.
Hey, you're not allowed, by the way, because I've forgotten to say this, you're not allowed to get in trouble for doing Desmos during another class if you're not supposed to be, because I leave my Desmos stuff open after you guys leave. Please don't do that. It's happened in previous years. Other teachers come, they're like, hey, will you, lock that or whatever, because they're trying to do Desmos instead of whatever. And I'm like, huh. It just means they like math better than you. That gets me in trouble, so let's not do that.
Let's do that.
The only one class I like least is math.
Okay.
No way. Everything
So
about
it says I have to see you, and is it -10?
except for me.
Oh! You're close with the 3, but it's definitely not +3.
Wait, where does it? So
So,
wait, is it plus
-8
5?
up to +2. You
That's 10.
didn't realize that that's 10, not 5. Right? What's 10 divided by 2?
9.
So your slope here is 5.
Jake, are you coming?
So then, if we're at -8, we go up 5 and over 1. What's -8 plus 5?
I'm not gonna be your
No.
Wait.
I'm advancing.
-3. So it should be 5x plus -3.
Are you guys on that?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. And then also, quick question about this one. The here
You have to go on the sports one.
for this one, I think.
What side are you on? Wait, what? I'm trying right now too.
-40 times -½ What's a negative times a negative?
Positive.
That's what I just said. You sure?
Yep.
Negative times negative.
Okay,
It gets
is.
us. So it is right? Like that's correct, because it turns into positive, and then +1 gets 21.
Yep.
Those are the moments that we're like, oh, I'm silly. Like I
All right. So do I just put this in my binder if I return it?
did I give you an M already? And just say see me?
It says see me, and
Was that everything pretty much?
the see me. Yeah, it was just this one part.
If map will load for me, I will change your grade right now. But if map doesn't load, you should stick it in my bin. There's no bicycles. It's all motorcycles.
Yeah, it was 10, 8, and 5, but you gave me the check on the 5 correct. So then I was just the 10 and the 8, which we just did.
That's not very fun. Patrick, you're on the wrong one. So, it's kind of weird.
I did tell people that if they wanted to jump to rigid motion, they can. It would just be hard.
That's impressive.
Where is your? Oh, there you are. Because things are out at work. Hey, have you turned in your 523?
5, 2, 3. I have to do it. I can do it to you right now because I.
No, because we're almost out of time.
Okay. Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, but we only got 2 minutes, so go fast.
I'm just gonna.
Okay, yeah, just go between classes. Hey, if you want to pack up your stuff right now and then go and then swing back by and grab your stuff or what, I don't care, whatever you want to do.
And then real quick, is this question mark just because I wrote my name twice over Twitter?
No, I think it's because you didn't have your name on there, then you got it off the no-name board and wrote your name there, but that's a pen, so it can't be erased.
All right, good for you. Actually, that is true.
Oh, I know. This is not my first rodeo.
Not entirely understand this question.
Well, good, because it's time to leave, and that'll leave you hungry for more. What's due today by the end of the day? Anything else, chapter 5. If you need, hey, give me 30 seconds. If you need to check if you've turned something in, I am up to date up until right when you walked in this room. Okay, so if you need to verify with me, you can come check with me, but also you could just check your binder. Next homework collection is Thursday. It's 611 and 612. All right, you have both of those. I will give you 1-3 and 1-4 tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to pause the Desmos to make you leave, and then I'll unpause it. Yes.
Okay, so I have a quick thing. So
Guys, just keep
I'm
it on
stupid,
so.
and I left my 524 at home, so I'm gonna turn that in the room.
That's fine. I mean, it's late, but that's fine. Get out of here. Don't make me chase you.
Wait, are you still on the... I need to rotate my I know how to do it. I think the reflection one is...
See ya. I'm now officially paused. See you later, Aiden. I paused you. That's not what we're supposed to do. Fantastic, but none of your papers are put away. You're not ready to leave class, and you're still playing.
Even though my dad didn't want to go get milk.
One thing you need to work on getting better at is where time you play. You're not very good at transition.
Okay, Barbara Johnson.
We need to put our papers away. We need to put our Chromebook away. We need to get out of here. All in about -1 minute. You cannot look through this right now. There's no time. You have to put stuff away and leave. We gotta get better at transitions, man. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to micromanage your transitions, and that is less fun. It's pretty sweet, but those should go in your binder. So, what I'm going to do is create a giant Tetris board that these squares, like the Tetris board have, are all 3 by 3. And then what we're going to do is everyone's going to get a Tetris piece, like we're going to make pieces and cut them out for people to decorate. And then we're all going to put our pieces on the Tetris board, right? So, if you want to help me draw straight lines, that's the first task, is we need to make 3 pages like this.
One page class grade.
Is it like...
No, it's just to be, the Tetris
That's
board
just how many people
is
there is.
10 blocks wide, so it's going to stand up like this and be 10 wide. So really 30, because each block is going to be 3. So to be 10 wide and 20 tall is what the Tetris board looks like. So if that's enough for all the students, that'll be sweet, but we might have to make a second one, but just one Tetris board needs 3 sheets of this.
So you want to like... grid as in like every single line?
No, so just every 3. So like what I started here, like so the next line here will be here, and that'll be 1 grid box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tape on the things or like glue them or what?
No, so the whole lines, I just put those there so I don't accidentally draw a line in the wrong place.
Good idea.
I make little ticks so that I know what I'm doing. You guys gotta get out of here though. Goldring's gonna be mad at me. Oh, I care. You might not care, but I care.
Oh, I'm not.
I wasn't here yesterday, so I didn't get 4.3.1. But I did watch the video, so I know.
So if you didn't take the notes,
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm gonna give you my copy of notes, but I don't know what happened to. Aha! Oh, well, let me show it to the class.
Okay. Do we keep our letter groups for next year?
I have no idea, actually. I doubt it. Get out this piece of paper. It should look like this. I'm about to give mine away because Katie wasn't here yesterday, so get it out. Copy anything you need to. It should look like this. I gotta stop my recording from last class because things got crazy.